Welcome, friends, to another episode of Dante Inferno. We are now in Circle 4, Greed. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can see every circle. Let's not waste any more time, and let's play. The road descends, circling the mountainous terrain. This is the fourth circle, where those who misused wealth in life, the prodigals and the covetous, have met their perdition. Dante explains. They roll round weights in circles until they hit each other and change direction to start all over again. Their dance resembles the back and forth of a whirlpool. A shadow has been cast over them, obscuring their faces as well as their words. However, their misfortune came. Since interacting with the damned souls is pointless, we can move straight forward. Let us prepare this Chronicle phase. Enter Descent of Shame. Wait, this Bailey. Dante notices a change. It used to be a place of punishment on my first trip. It seems things have gone out of control here, too. The rocky landscape is desert. The valleys that were once filled by the noise of weights rolling and colliding now reverberate with cries of defiance. The avaricious succumbed to the fire burning within them and became looters, plundering one another. The prodigals, in turn, became braggarts and gambled any treasure they found along the way. Few are those who still roll the weights. Enter Accursed Ballroom. This place is beyond salvation. The devotee points out with her usual optimism. She notices the wanderer's fruitless attempt to communicate with the damned souls. The shadows distort even her drawings in the sand. Suddenly, a boy carrying the order's coat of arms arrives from the north, exhausted. Praised be the high power! He catches his breath to speak. The Baron of Alba Lulia has hit a snag in his treasure hunt, and his men are in trouble. Knights, please take me back to camp. I need to call for reinforcements. Calm down, child. You are safe now. The wanderer soothes the boy, running her fingers through his curls, a display of tenderness worthy of a mother. Abandoning the boy is not an option for her. A child on a rescue mission takes you for Knights of the Order. Let's volunteer as reinforcements. I am sorry, but... Dante means to deliver bad news, but the mercenary interrupts him. Poet, wait! The knights were ambushed on a treasure hunt and need reinforcements. His tone is suggestive. The way that the Florentine looks at the condottiero reveals his disapproval, but he does not interrupt him. Mainly because the warrior is not the only one who wants to help. Besides, we cannot leave the boy alone in a place like this, the wanderer corroborates. It is settled then. Child, take us to the Baron. We will be the reinforcements. The outlaw puts an end to the issue. Enter St. Lucia's Chapel. Walking mountainous paths, you arrive at a modest chapel surrounded by grass. The doors are closed, but the wooden latch loosens on its own at the poet's touch. Inside, a single statue lies on a simple altar. It is St. Lucia, holding her own eyes in her outstretched hands, wrapped in thin golden chain with a pendant, her grace. A revelation that leaves the Florentine both amazed and worried, as this place did not exist on his first journey. Brothers, look! The door is opened! The cry of a knight echoes. He was lurking behind the bushes, accompanied by his group. Wait a moment! Who are you? The boy's disappearance proves that you were lured into a trap. The caravan endures an ordeal of prowess of difficulty 15. The caravan is rolling a total of 5 dice. We have 6 there. The devotee will spend 3 vigor, and each other champion will do 1 vigor. That brings them down to 5 vigor, and the devotee to 3. I don't know if this is enough. Oh, yes! That is 10 plus 6. You are outnumbered. However, your tactical superiority gives you clarity to deal with this challenge. The mercenary and the artist form a defensive perimeter beneath the chapel's portico, fending off attackers in an incredible display of teamwork. The outlaw's arrows give you the breach you need to do what needs to be done. Claim the grace, devotee! No one is more suitable than you! Dante suggests as he finds a back exit. The devotee will also gain 1 prowess token. 10 years, or a little more, had passed since the day the devotee was accepted into the convent. Having been affiliated with a Dominican branch, she became a nun, and her path seemed to have already been tediously traced by those who came before her. The woman, now an adult, tried hard to belong there, even though something always seemed to be missing. Her routine of prayer and service was silent, yet the footprints she left through the years were not. Her conduct with men, even other women, was always the subject of gossip, until her sisters could no longer accept her. The maiden was talented, cultured, and very intelligent. However, the most important thing she lacked was the desire to be there. She never believed it would happen, but one day she was expelled and excommunicated. Now, not only had her father rejected her, but the church had as well. Now she could not help but feel as if there was no place for her in the world, And for the first time she felt ashamed of herself. Hurt and tainted, she never told anyone what had happened, even though she never dared to take communion again. Hesitantly, she approaches the statue. The screams of her companions echo through the chapel as she questions whether she is worthy of touching that artifact. Heavens, maiden, take the pendant already! The outlaw pressures the maiden to make a decision. The poet is right in assuming that no one there should have a more pious soul than hers. But can she keep secrets from St. Lucia, the one who reveals everything? The devotee must choose one of the options. Except you are a sinner and not claim the grace. Sweat runs down the maiden's temples as thoughts pour through her mind. Who can judge a mortal whether they have ever served the heavens or not, who does not dare touch a sacred relic? Why did not Dante, a blessed soul and great devout of St. Lucia, want to take it? The devotee is the bitter maiden. The devotee's gaze is a silent confession. She does not consider herself worthy of that treasure. Taking the first step away from the altar, she feels the poet's hand on her shoulder. You are torn by doubt, my friend. But although humility is a virtue, inertia is not. We are responsible for our omissions, whether they are the result of right or wrong feelings. He lectures as a shy tear runs down the woman's face. Remember this in the future. This is my advice as a guide. Leaving the grace at the altar, you head out the back door. Fortunately, the knights are more interested in taking the abandoned prize than chasing after you. The devotee remembers an episode from her past. Progress her to Humbled Maiden by replacing her champion card, then enter Crescent Fortress. Here are her new stats: 2 aggressive, 2 prowess, 3 willpower, and in Excelsis has improved. She needs 14 hits on an attack roll, but as a collateral she may invigorate 4, empower 4, or inspire 1, while her inner flame reverts back to its original power. Leaving the meadow that surrounds the chapel, you continue until you reach a building that defies reason, with its stone walls emerging from the ground like trees, growing toward the sky. The work is supervised by a restless, elegant man. We do not have St. Lucia's Grace treasure card? Cursed, his face is obscured, and identifying him is impossible. First, he raises his hands with his palms facing you and starts shouting nonsensical words. Not getting an answer, he runs away, heading into the fortress. I have a terrible feeling about this. The artist ponders the difficulties you will face in this circle. The obscure dam tries to escape. Let's just head in the opposite direction. Should I stop him? The outlaw quickly draws his bow. He runs like crazy, and a shot will only cripple him. He speaks like a predator. Wait, no. The artist holds the shot. I was just saying, let him go. See, we can turn around. The wanderer just wanted to distract her companion, but she was right. The camp the boy mentioned was just below you, to the south. I have a bad feeling about this, says the poet as you descend the hills. Enter the camp under construction. Descending the mountainous trail, you arrive at some palisades still under construction that protect a camp with tents lined up. Pennants, fluttering with the coat of arms of the order, bring together a large battalion. The eastern perimeter is protected by an escarpment that rises beyond the dust cloud enveloping this circle's atmosphere, while on the other sides, palisades are still being built. The guards offer you the hospitality of their brothers, and thus, an opportunity to infiltrate the viper's nest presents itself. Should you take advantage of it, let us infiltrate. The many clashes you have had with the knights along the journey give you the confidence to pass them by. Instinctively, you straighten your posture and line up behind the mercenary, just like a squad would do. The looks you attract are not suspicious. No one would dare to disdain a brother assigned to a search party, for they know that they are the ones who face the greatest dangers in the Inferno. With chests puffed out and the confidence that you are where you should be, you, the foxes, peep into the henhouse. Enter Avarice Camp. Hey! A knight shouts from a tent. He is hunched over a table and far too comfortable. Certainly an officer. You look around, but no one responds. He calls to you. A knight shouts from a tent. As a team, you can respond? Nah. You prefer to keep pretending and get away. We are attracting a lot of attention. It is best we part ways for now. The artist says the words the outlaw had in mind, despite the poet's protest. It is almost common sense that splitting the team is never a good idea. Take path cards 13 through 16 and place them on this region face up. Each champion takes one of them, and then one by one, and in any order, you proceed to their respective resolutions. Each champion is on their own in the resolution of their card. Finally, place path card 17 on this region face up. When all champions have resolved their quests, take this card and proceed to its resolution. The path cards are incorrectly referenced. The artist will investigate the armory. What treasures could the Order's armory hold? Swords, shields, armor? Entering a tent as robust as a shed, you come across pieces of armor, helmets, shields, and various types of weapons, all perfectly organized. It is the armory, for sure. In the corner opposite the tent entrance, the armory caretaker is washing his hands and face, which is why he did not see you. As the man finishes cleaning himself and you prepare to leave, a glint of treasure catches your eye in the corner of your vision. A most holy sacrament, unlike any you have ever seen, made entirely of gold and set with jet gems. The caretaker is distracted for one last moment. Try to steal the treasure. The calm winds of this place whisper promises of wealth and pleasure to those who have their ears open. Bewitched by the gold, almost feverish, you cannot resist the temptation, and quietly walk towards the treasure. Your mouth waters at the idea of taking such a precious object.
3 prowess. That's 4. I'm going to try to get 3 more with just 2 more vigor. So she is down to 3. And the risk pays off.
Born for thievery, you carefully take the monstrance and hold it close to your chest, but not before giving it a good look. A work of art, without a doubt. With your senses recovered and your heart racing, you make your way back with the grace of a feline, leaving the tent without raising the slightest suspicion. The artist receives 1 prowess token. Take the Byzantine Sacrament treasure card. Keep it in reserve until the camp scene is over. The devotee investigates the ward. What place is best for a wounded soldier to visit? Perhaps you shall find your answers from the loose lips of dying men. Each side of the large tent is lined with a dozen stretchers, separated by a central corridor, occupying nearly the entire space. Knights wearing light clothes and black aprons tend to the few injured. It seems that the order has adopted a less confrontational stance in this circle. Hey you! One of them inspects you. The deplorable state of your clothes scares everyone. The devotee does not have any wounds. By the grace of the Lord, you look terrible. Surely, working in the wards must be tiresome, but still filthy, nonetheless. Go away! Inside this tent, I am the highest authority, and I do not want anyone distracted. Expelled like a stray, you make your exit. She receives Invigorate 2. She is up to 5. The outlaw will investigate the pantry. A campaign of this magnitude requires well-manned and elaborate supply. What can you find in the pantry? The largest tent in the camp, by far, is the one that holds the provisions. Feeding an army 3 meals a day is neither easy nor cheap. Dozens of squires manage the storage and distribution of hundreds of crates with supplies of all types, but it is the quantity of amphorae that draws your attention. The order knew that, unlike a conquest on Earth, there would be no reservoirs in the Inferno, and thirst could be the expedition's greatest enemy. What do you need, knight? A boy, younger than 15, measures his words as if speaking to royalty. A squire comes to serve you. Request supplies. You choose to keep up the charade and request supplies for a mission. The boys' organization is impeccable. In no time, they assemble a bag with dried fruits, meat, cheese, bread, and amphorae. Here you are. The boy hands you a feast that makes your stomach hurt. Where are your men? I mean, there are lots of bags. We can take their stuff wherever they are. Disregarding courtesy, you gather your belongings, barely able to contain the saliva in your mouth, and then leave. You receive Prepare 3. That is a huge boon. And lastly, the mercenary investigates the fire. Soldiers are soldiers, no matter where they are. If there's one thing for sure about them, it's that they will surely talk as they fraternize around a campfire. You stroll around the campfire, ears open, to gather information. Many knights, sitting at tables made of reclaimed wood, unfurl their tongues, either to have their whims met, or to talk about themselves. A chapel, a palace, a court, and a mansion with so many golden statues that it could only be the home of King Midas. Commander Minia was tasked with establishing a landing and claiming the treasures of each place without harassing the damned, if possible. A challenging task. He is up to 7, and the last path we have is leaving. Having investigated enough, it's time to leave the camp quietly. After wandering around on your own, you meet again at the exit of the camp. A subtle movement of soldiers rummaging through tents near the fire indicates that the commander suspects something, but he does not alert his men. He prefers to handle it quietly, to avoid compromising the troops' morale. Your plan has worked, my friend. Dante congratulates the wanderer. Let's not waste this victory. Let us leave soon. The exit is not far away, and I would rather follow a straight path than meander between knights and damned souls. Enter Roman Domus. As you go through the valley, you arrive at the courtyard of a Roman domus made of masonry and marble that overlooks almost the entire circle. The bailey is full of perfectly aligned waits, which catches your attention, but perhaps not as much as the road that goes to the right, the descent to the 5th circle. We do not have St. Lucia's Grace treasure card. Your curiosity is noted by a darkened, damned soul who, raising his hand, comes to play host. He wears the uniform of a legionnaire, carries a gladius on his waist, and is not alone. At least 10 other soldiers keep him company. His intentions are unclear, but he may not have taken you for enemies. The Romans come towards the caravan. Should you wait for them? Let us escape to the road that leads to the 5th circle. Comrades, We are in too much of a hurry and have few reasons to get involved with them, because when we defeat the Order, everything will be resolved, right? The outlaw has a good point. Good enough to convince the rest of the caravan and to get a shy smile from Dante. After all, from the beginning, he recommended keeping your distance from the dwellers of this circle. Amidst the embarrassed and confused goodbyes, you move away from the Romans who, to your surprise, do not pursue or bother you. They let you go as if you were allies. Enter Descent of Loss. A desolate trail leads to the exit from this circle. Here, the silence is terrifying, like the anticipation that precedes a raging storm. You did not really think it would be that easy, did you? The boy who confronted you in the accursed ballroom before reappears from behind the rocks. His hair is disheveled, and he has a mischievous smile on his face. We do not have the St. Lucia's Grace treasure card. Let us make a deal. Return to the chapel, bring me the grace of St. Lucia, and then I shall let you leave in peace, he proposes with a wink. However, the Florentine recognizes the coppery flash that reflects from those not-so-innocent eyes. Comrades, prepare! The poet retreats. This boyish face hides the identity of Plutus, the guardian of the fourth circle, and he does not listen to reason. Do what you do best, because there is no other way. You have his consent. The Chronicle phase ends here.